Shalom Israel with ISUPK. Start off 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Under Commander General Yohana, where we teach blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians make up and are indeed the 12th tribe of Israel. This is Friday night Lashawan Qadash class in South Carolina. My name is Officer Qadash Shapar. We're teaching Lashawan Qadash, Paleo, and Assyrian tonight. If you're not part of ISUPK, we suggest that you get in class online. We're not affiliated with any other Israelite group. If you're not under ISUPK under Commander General Yohana, you're not of the truth. And we'll get started tonight. Kind of like going to skip the dates tonight, but I'm going to go into, we're going to teach something about the nations, of how the nations went against us. We'll talk about it in Psalms 33rd chapter. We'll write a little bit on the board here about how the nations, all the nations conspired against us and took us out of our, basically, even the Romans took us out of our Holy Land in AD 70. And they conspired against us, and then, of course, Romans, the Most High, put it in there, Romans 83rd chapter. If you grab it, we'll do a little translation in the 6th and 7th chapter of Lashawan Qadash. We'll show you what this nation looked like. And then, of course, we'll write the 18 nations on here when we get time on the board. And that should be a lot of class. Hope that you join class and have a great time and understanding, but mostly get in ISUPK and get in these classes. So we're going to get right into it. We'll write, I'll write it over here. Today is the 17th, of course. We won't go into the dates tonight. We'll just, maybe at the end of class I might go over it. But we'll write down here in Psalms 83. 83, I think it's 6 and 7. 6 Wa 7, or Wa means and in Hebrew. And of course we're teaching Paleo and Assyrian Hebrew. You know, that's how we work in ISUPK to teach you both these things. So basically, and I'll read it here. They have taken crafty counsel against us, against thy people, Salakia, and consulted against thy hidden ones. Who are the hidden ones? Well, we are, children of Israel. The blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians make up the 12th tribe of Israel. They have taken crafty counsel against us of the hidden ones. They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation. Cut them off from being this. You know, right there. Cut us off from being a nation. Now, why do they want to do that? So I guess so they can put us in slavery. Of course, that's why. The Most High recorded in here so that these people can enslave us. And the biggest one is Edom. And then it says, for they have consulted together with one consent. I'm on verse 5, if you're reading along with me, Psalms 83, 5. With one consent, Psalm 83, 6 and 7. The name of Israel shall be no more in remembrance. Since they took us out of into captivity, and look, we're walking the streets now. No one knows except for the children of Israel. Some particular people in the children of ISUPK know. Of course, that's why I say get in here. We know who we are, but most of our people, the preponderance of our people, don't even know who we are. So that's our job, to come in and show you that the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians make up the 12th tribe of Israel, and they cut us off from being a nation. That we won't even have remembrance. I'll read that again. Verse 4. They said, come. Who? Well, I'm going to read about it in 6 and 7. I'll read about these nations. Sorry about that. these nations right there. Now translate that for a second here. Come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel, Yasharala, that's us, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, may be no more in remembrance. That's a lot of cutting off, my brothers, my sisters. Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, to all the brothers, Yahweh Shema, Alathah Hashem, Yahweh Shai, to all of the sisters, Akwath. We welcome you here, and we thank you for being online. See, and we're letting you know that they cut us off in Psalms 83, and that's why we're trying to show who we are. We're showing you that we even have our own Lashawan Qadash. This is the whole point. We're waking up. We're finding out that we speak and we understand Paleo. We speak and we understand Assyrian. We know what's in the Bible. Why? Because the Most High, under command of General Yohana, He's raised it up and have raised up the priests and prophets of the Most High, all the way from the general down to the young man. And that's what I'm saying. All of the officers, and if you want to be an ISBK, we'll talk about that. And I'm saying to you, get an ISBK, join your brothers. We're all black, of course. We'll talk about that in a second here at the end of class. And the sisters, get in. Learn this Lashawan Qadash so it can help you to understand who we are. Okay, they have come together with one consent. They have consulted together with one consent. They are the confederate against thee. So that's the first thing we have to understand. They got one consent coming against us to tell us who we are. We know who we are. So let's go and let's look at some things here. Let's find out. Let's see. In the Hebrew, you know what some of these words are. Well, let's find out. Let's find out what nations first did this. So let's write them on the board here. The first one we can write down is that one of the biggest nations is Edom. You know, Edom or Esau. You know, Esau. And that's what we'll do on the board here. We'll show you Esau. We'll show you what that is. We'll write it up here real quick and show you who that is. And it's sad that that we don't know that. But we're going to explore and find out what these look like in Lashawan Qadash, and show you when you see in the Bible in Edom, in Esau, and then you have another nation, verse 6, the tabernacles of Edom, and it's called. We also have the Ishmaelites. We'll write that up here. Ishmaelites. Now, Ishmael, that was Abraham's son, actually. Well, of course, it was a son by Hagar, so really he didn't inherit the Ishmael. He didn't inherit inherited to be a children to one of the 12 tribes. You see, his progenitor or his seed. He's not the progenitor of us. That would be Isaac, his brother, when through Sarah. Shar, got you in class, brother. We got Bara, Ladah. See, we have Shar, Officer Shar. Glad to have you in class. Then we have a Moneta. We have Shalom Shema Alathah, sister. I'm sorry, Bara Ladah. Okay, Bara Ladah, half sister. Ladah. Okay, good. Okay, yes. And I have Officer Shar cost of 50. The Ishmaelites and Abraham's son, we were reading about it in Sabbath class there where they say you can't inherit this throne, with Sister Adrian. Got Sister Adrian over here. We'll move this over here and write them down on the board. Tell Abraham, the Lord said, Abraham, Ishmael is not going to be the progenitor. Adrian, okay. Adrian Clay Ferguson's always here. Glad to have you, sister. Can't be the progenitor. Ishmael just went off with his mother, Hagar, who's an African. Of course, she can't be part of the 12 tribes of Israel. That's blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. The Africans, they're Canaanites and Ishmael. That's Ishmael. They went off and developed. Ishmael came out and developed the Arabs, of course. And it's not a history class. We're just going to show you how to do some Lashawan Qadash on some of these words here so you can understand. I try to blend them together. Who else? We had a Moab, the Moabites. Of course, you know who that is. If you don't, we're teaching you right now. The Moabites. That actually was the children of Lot from his first daughter. His first daughter, he had an ancestral behavior going on there, and that's why the Moabs, and of course they're the Chinese. That's who they are. And Lot, both his daughters, they laid with him. He got drunk, he's asleep, and they, of course, had their way, wanted to keep their dad's lineage going on, not race, it's like it. Keep their lineage going on, because Lot's wife dead, they had a cave, they figured they'd carry it on, but that's not the way the Most High wanted that to be, but that's the way it happened. So basically, and we'll show you how that's spelled, Ishmael and Edom, Esau. And of course, who else in Psalms 83? We had the Hagarenes. Look that up. It's some sort of, let's spell it right first. Hagarenes. When I looked it up, if you look up, you'll see the word Hagar in there. Sort of like, really, they're like, let me make sure I got this right. I think they're Syrians. Sort of, no, they're actually, I take it back. They're Arabs. Also, some sort of Arabs. And Ishmael, of course, he went over there, and they sort of Arabs also. But you'll look at Assyrians, sort of Arabs, and then we'll translate some of these words. Then you had, I believe it was, who was next? Gabal? Let's find out who they are. Yeah, Gabal, that's right. We have Gabal. These are the people that took us out of here. They wanted to just say, y'all don't need to be no more. We'll hide y'all and enslave y'all. Because if we knew we were the children of Israel, we would no longer be slaves. The Most High will come back, just rescue us. You find that in the book of Judah 3:1. Gabal is also called Jebel. But you find in the book of Judah 13:1, you'll see that. And we'll put the Lashawan Qadash up there to show you what they kind of look like. These are the nations that conspired against. And then you had another nation over here. It was Ammon. Those Ammonites. That's the same thing as Lot had. He was asleep again. And the youngest sister, she went there. And we'll go to some of these stories if we can find. As a matter of fact, it says that, we'll go back down to some of those stories after we get out of Psalms 83 here. Just want to write down the nations so we can do some Lashawan Qadash, Paleo, and Assyrian to them. And Ammon, and of course, we call him totally Amalek. them Amalek people, them the old Khazar people that's over there now, Khazars, perpetrating themselves as a Jew. And they're not, of course. They're fake Jews. I believe Hitler called them kikes. But if you look at their name, Amalekites, and maybe had something there. I'm just saying. More like Amalekites. See that in the Bible? They're referring to Amalek. Those fake Jews over there that wear a little yarmulke thing over there and go around doing some crazy things to children and, wicked. It's just wickedness. But those basically are just white people, the same as Edom. Edom has a lot of nations that came out of there, and they were, now they're Romans, they're French, they're Italians, and I can add Scandinavians, you can name it on and on and on, but they're all white people, same thing. That's it, same thing. It's not much difference. And they all gotten themselves a big conspiracy to come against us. As a matter of fact, the fake Jews, Amalek was the grandson of Esau. He was the grandson of Esau. That's how you know that. You'll find that in the Amalekites in Genesis 14 and 7. Qatazar, Natazar Gabar, Princess Labia, is his wife. Good, great. Shema Athal, Hashem Yahushai, Sister Labia, great. Okay. These nations take over, and they did a good job of hiding this boy, because we sure don't know who we are now as a people. That's why I say get in the ISUPK so you'll know. We have police, we have schools, we blaze on the street, we teach on the street all the time, and so we can teach and know who we are, so we won't be in the dark anymore. I'm sure we got raided in Jerusalem 1870, ran across the Atlas Mountain, settled in Africa to 1600, and got shipped over here to the different isles. I'm sure we threw up our hands, Lord, what's going on here? Well, we're breaking it down. These are the nations that actually helped to do that. Of course, you have the fake Jews right here and the Africans that put us in slavery. That's what's going on. That's what part of the problem is. No one knows on the street who we are. Then of course you have the Philistines, which is very, they kind of stole the Ark of the Covenant at one time. But we'll put down here Lashawan, Qadash, Philistines. Okay, and of course you have Tyre. Okay, now let's put some Lashawan, Qadash on some of these, so we'll know what they look like. Take your notes out so you have an understanding. We gave you guys a few seconds to write that down, so you'll know. We'll let you guys write that down a little bit. Give you about 15 seconds or so to jot it down. The nations in Psalms 83 that conspired against us. We'll write it over here. That's Psalms 83, 6 and 7. Of course, it's all the way, if you read it all the way to, actually it goes all the way from 2. We'll go all the way here to 2. 2 to 7 is what I'm interested in right now. And of course, we had Ashur too. We can't miss him. Let's do that one. I forgot Ashur. Ashur is also joined with them too. Yeah, Ashur. And if Ashur, that's actually the Assyrians. Like, Syria, there was a king in Ashur, in Ezra 4 and 2, that's referred to, that talks about Ashur. So when you see the Syrians, or when you see that reading, they're talking about the people of the Assyrians. That's you find that in Ezra 4 and 2. I'm sorry. All right. Okay. Give you a chance to write that down a little bit, and we'll continue on the translation here. Good to see you guys in class. to discuss some of these matters. Excuse me, it's lucky. Okay, let's see. All right, let's get another pen here, color here, so you can write it in your notes, so you can see a little bit what's going on here. Right. Okay. And of course, Africa, is separated into. When you see them, they had their part in it too. They had Mizraim, Canaan, Cush, and Put. They had their share in this also, in the nations. So all the nations basically pretty much conspired to put us in slavery. So that's what our people need to know. That's what people need to understand. We understand that that's why the Lord wants you to separate and come together, get together with Him, so you'll understand. You can't learn anything by being with these other nations. They're not going to do anything but cause you to be against your own people. Look at our pastors, our wicked pastors out here. They don't love us. My gaze language with them, they don't care about us. So I say separate yourself and come toward Israel. To separate yourself or set yourself apart. We'll put that word down here. Let's see what that looks like. If you want to be set apart, let's set apart ourselves from these nations here. That's the first thing. We'll write that down also. Set apart. Let's set ourselves apart. Okay. I'll take these down. I'll move these over here a little bit so you can see. Okay. Set ourselves apart. All right. Get away. And so set apart, of course, really is the same word for holy, Qadash. Of course, Qua, Da, Sh, just like that. Qadash. Well, we'll do a little better than that. We can do better than that. Come on, Qadash, like that. Set yourself apart here. And of course, we'll do it in another color here. That just happened to be a Syrian right there, and of course a paleo. We do it in blue, so you can see it a little better. Oops. Got the H there, sorry. Set apart. Right. Qadash. Shah. Qadash. And of course you want to see it in paleo. That word would be like this. It would be Qua. That's a Q right over here, right there in red, right there. I just kind of got these backwards. I should have done that. Okay, and then you want to use a D right here. And of course, we'll put the connectors here in a second. Qadash. And of course, we have to put the Shah sound right here, right there. So it's Qua, independent connector, and then Dash, just like that. That means set apart. Get yourself away from these nations here, and of course, or any other nation. It doesn't matter who it is. I just brought in Psalms 83 from 2 to 8. Get away from all of Edom. That's all of Esau. That's all the white people out there. Get away from them. Get away from the Ishmaelites, the Arabs. Get away from the Moabites. Get away from the Hagarenes. Get away from the Arabs. Pull yourself away. On your daily job, I know you got to work with them. But get away from it. The Bible says separate. Qadash. Be holy. Follow his commandments. That's one thing we have to do. Separate yourself. Come out. Gather yourself together. You know. Okay? So here, we'll let you guys write that down so you understand how that's written there. Now let's write down what the rest of the translation of these are. We'll put it over here. Kind of put it in, let me get nations out of here real quick, sort of in the way there. I'll translate that a little later here because it's kind of in my way of doing the nations. There we go. Now, Edom, Esau, Edom. Let's put it in Syria. We'll go here. We'll do this. See if we got enough room here. Like that. Of course, in your characters that you see on the board, you can see these characters up here. That's why I put them here. You can see the characters. Real good. This is the Syrian I'm writing up here right now. Okay. Da. Like that. And of course you have wa. Then you have an ending connector there. I'm sorry, ending character. And that is the M. That M character right there. Of course I can put that in green so you can see it a little better, because that's what I have right here. If you see it right there, that's green. That green tells you that it's the end of a character in a Syrian. I'm trying to be consistent here with writing. Sometimes I run out of colors, but there it is right there. Okay, there you go. Hope you guys are up with me so far to understand these characters. That's Edom. He is the biggest enemy because he calls all these people to conspire them together to come against us. You know, come. Who said come? Who said come? Let us do this. Well, Edom. You know, let's get back to the text here. Let's find out a little better. You guys have anything on the chat that you want to type in? You can contribute to class. That's fine. They have said, "For lo, thine enemies make a tumult." You know, tumult is like a they hate it. They make a tumult. They came together, made a little meeting, little mean meeting. They're mean, I guess, against us to say, "Hey, make a tumult." And they that hate thee, they hate us, have lifted up their head. They lifted up, in other words, we're strong. They have taken crafty counsel. I mean, they got together, all these nations said, look, because they fought us. The Ishmaelites fought us, the Moabites fought us, the Hagarenes, Arabs fought us, Javel, they fought us, Ammon, which are, take that, let me see, I forgot to put that down, but Ammon, they're actually Japanese. They're Japanese people. Sorry about that. The Japanese. Okay, because Philistine is like a open thing. This is a whole nother story. I'm not going to get into the history of that. But, we'll leave that one alone for a while, because that's a whole nother story of understanding. But these nations got together and say, let's basically make a mockery of them and put them in slavery, and that was the way they did that. So we'll take we'll take the understanding. Tyre or Tyrus, it's Phoenician city in the Mediterranean coast. Okay, these Tyre were basically sort of like Armenian Phoenician people. You know, they're all about the same. We'll put some Phoenicians. You know, we'll put that down there. But for the main thing is that we want to do the Lashawan Qadash on them to understand that all of them. It's a Phoenician city from the Mediterranean coast, Tyre. I think I met a person from there a long time ago. He said that's where, because it's a very old nation. But anyway, all these nations got together. Esau, the main one in council, say, Ishmaelites, come on in, man. We want to beat all these people up because we want to beat the children of Israel up, and let's gather all these people together, because they know they couldn't, in our right strength and our right power, could not beat the children of Israel. They couldn't do that. So they had to come, gather together, and form a coalition. That's what they said. Come, let's cut them off from being a nation. So let's write down the translation for that. In Hebrew, it'll be like, see if I got enough room here. Yeah, I got enough room here. We got a A, then we have a Da. Oh, I tell you, it takes up a lot of room. Da. Then we got Wa. Then we have Ma. Okay? Da, Wam. Adawam. Independent connector, then you need a dependent connector for the last two. Wam, Adawam, Esau or Edom. You find them, of course, all over the Bible. Genesis 25, you find them in Obadiah. All of them, all the whole book of Obadiah is dedicated for him. Now let's go to the Ishmaelites. Let's see what that translates. Let's see how that's a difference. Weird. Well, let's find out how to do that. We're gonna free up some room here. Ishmaelites. We want to say, well, we're doing it in red here. I'm sorry, Yah. Ooh, man. Yahweh. Yeshua, sorry. Yeshua. Okay. Yashama. Shemayai, let's see. Okay, put some room in there. All right. That's an I there, and then we're going to put an A here. Man, that's not right. We're going to go here like that. Sorry about that. And then we're going to put an L like that, and we're going to put, yeah, there we go. So basically it's Yeshamayai Layah, Ishmaelites. Well, let me write that again, because it's hard to get some room over here. Put that in your notes, and you'll know when you see this in the Tanakh, you'll see who they're talking about. They're talking about the Ishmaelites, or Ishmael. I'll just write it like this. Kind of write a little smaller. Ishmaelites. There we go. Okay? Yasha Ma'ai Yalai Layah. That's Ishmael. That was, like I said, Hagar's son, Ishmael. I guess he thought he was going to get some of the prize of the 12th tribe of Israel. No, no Egyptian can't sit on this throne here. This is for the 12 tribes of Israel, and that's for Isaac to be the progenitor of that. That's what the Bible says. And of course, Ishmael went off his way. The Lord gave him a meal, gave him some water, gave him some, some understanding and some rulership over there in the Arab land there. And that's fine. That's fine. But that's what the Most High did for him. But, that's how he needed to be. So, we'll write. Let's go to the Chinese. We'll write it down, see if we have enough room here to write it. We're in red. Moab. Yeah, I think we got enough room. I don't even know enough room to write the paleo, but we'll definitely do it this way. Boy, I tell you. There we go. Then we'll have Wahab. Yeah, there you go. Here, like that. And of course, we got a B there going on. It's sort of like this. Moab. As a Chinese people, Moab. Ma-Wa'ab, and of course you have to use your alphabet down here or your characters to finish it out for understanding. Ma-Wa'ab. They don't end in any of the connectors, so you don't have to put any of the end connectors if you see green like that. Okay, then we have, let's see if we can free up some room here. We'll take off that. I hope you guys get that. We'll I'm not assuming, I'm just hoping you've written it down, Chinese and Arab, so I can do some translation here on the board. Okay. Hagarenes, those are Arabs, of course. Kind of like write it over here. They're just another part of the Arabs, just along with Ishmael. So let's do right down here. There we go. Okay. Now, we also have Gabal. And this be like this. Let's go to the Hagarenes. Oh, sorry, I apologize. Let's go to Hagarenes. It'll be translated Ha. That's this sound here. Ha. And Assyrian, we're keeping up with Assyrian in red here tonight. Ha. Ga. That's a Ga. Like that. Ra. Hagaraya. Hagaria. Hagaria. Hagarenes. Hagaria. Okay? You see it in the Bible. In Tanakh, that's what it reads out. Of course, we have Gabal. Gabal will be looking like something like this. Ga. Write this down in your notes. Like I said, from night to night, guys, if you write down in your book, in your notes, when you come back to it, you'll have it, Get your understanding, when I see these words, what am I reading here? Ga, ba, you have a B in Assyrian. Ga, ba. See? Then, of course, you have that little L there. See if I can write it little like that. Looks like a 3, but that's what that is. Gabal. Okay? Of course, I'm not writing in paleo. Everything you see in here is Assyrian. If you need something in paleo, just let me know in the chat. If I have enough room, I can do that. We'll go to Ammon, and then we'll get to some more understanding of Hebrew. Just thought I'd throw I try to throw out some Lashawan Qadash on all of the highlights and keep abreast of our school understanding of how we see our understanding of our different texts, and try to do the Lashawan Qadash, keep things relevant, keep things pertaining to class, keep things pertaining to the world as we see it out there today. I thought I'd just say these are the nations that that the Bible prophesies. These are nations that's going to take crafty counsel against us. That's what they are. I'm just showing the Syrian and some paleo and break down who they are, so you'll understand when you see them. Like I said, Esau's many nations, and we'll get to that in a second. I'll show you that a little bit more about Esau. Ishmael, the Arabs, that's what it looks like. They're part of it. Moab, that's them Chinese. Don't forget them. Chinese. That's the Chinese. And go to Hagarenes, the some type of Arabs. That's what I've looked up. And the ball, I forgot what nation that was here. But anyway, it's not important right now. Maybe later on, if I get into teaching classes, I'll break these down a little further. But right now, we're doing Lashawan Qadash class. And Ammon, these are Japanese, so let's break that down. Let's find out what they look like in Lashawan Qadash, in our language. When you see them, that's the whole point, so you can see them and understand. Wow, that's what I'm looking at. The Lord, the Most High, gave us this for a reason. You find them in Genesis 19:38. Also, the sons of Lot, inbred incest. You find it, of course, in Psalms 83, 6, and 7. Children of Lot, they went off and started whole new ancestral incest. No one's supposed to do that. You don't sleep with your daughter, and the daughter certainly don't sleep with dad. Israel doesn't do that. That's how you know it wasn't us. We don't do it. We follow the Most High and His commandments. That's why I say separate yourself. Qadash. Make yourself clean, holy. Qadash. Clean and holy. You don't have to go around and do what Ammon did and what Moab did. You don't sleep. Find yourself a decent man. Find yourself a decent wife. Proverbs 31, wife. Rise up early in the morning, goes and work and cook for her family, goes out, run a business to help her family. You don't have to do anything special except for take care of your family. And man, you take care of your family, the Most High. Okay, let's see. That's what we want to have an understanding here. And Ammon, let's see what he looks like in Hebrew here. So it's instead of me going around and memorize this, I write it down because I don't want to mess nothing up. Ma, and then of course we have an N here. Amawan. Amawan. That's what it looks like. You read that, see that in Hebrew? Okay, Amawan. Ammon. That's another one of them daughters that done slept with the daddy. Lot. But that was all by prophecy. Most High had that all worked out. Glad He did. Okay, and Amalek. Let's talk about him for a second here. Amalek. These people right here, the Amalekites. Erase that one here. Amalekites. These people These are your Khazars over there. That's the Khazars that's over there right now. The Khazars, those people really sought to take our spot in 1948. The Balfour Declaration, they came about, put on the little yarmulkes and started dancing all the little crazy dances. That's them people right there. Amalek, the fake Jews, the one that Hitler had, the concentration camps, only a few of them, you know, talking about 6 million or 6,000 or how many they had over there. Hitler knew that we were the real Jews. He knew that. He knew we had the Jews. He knew it. But these Amalek people over here call themselves, they're fake Jews. They're basically Esau's people, the grandson of Esau. So that's what they are. I mean, how can you get that any different? Other than the fact that our people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because we don't know. But we know now that Amalek, he's a fake Jew. We'll find out what that looks like. I believe in you see, let's see. Let's look it up and we'll find out how these fake Jews, Amalek. Revelation 3 and 9. I found it over there, Revelation 3 and 9. Let's read what it says here. Take the time to read this a little bit. This is the fake Jews right here. Let's concentrate on him. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan. Satan just give them all of their fathership. You can have that Satan. That's who it is. The Most High made sure he picked the right ones. Amalek. That's it. As a matter of fact, let me redline here. Let me put some red line. Where's my red marker here? There it is right here. Let me make sure Amalek can see that, because Esau, red, you know, right there. Let's circle him right there. Amalek. We're going to give him some special attention right now. Behold, Revelation 3:9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews. Say they are Jews. They say that they are Jews. My God. We go back in Psalms 83, we find out that they're Amalek. They say they're Jews. Of course, we're writing to Syria right here in a few seconds. They say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Revelation, let's write that text down over here. Revelation 3 and 9. You know, just for your reference, for your notes, if you want to put in your notes right there, reference it. And let's talk about Amalek. That Amalek goes all the way over here. Let's put an arrow right there. That's your granddaddy. Right there. Amalek, Esau. Come out all red. We'll get on that if I have to. We'll find that in Genesis, I believe that's 20. Let's see. We'll find him in Genesis, all over the Bible. 25. It came out red. Okay. As a grandson is Amalek. Revelation 3 and 9. The Most High gave him a special text right there, just for him. And there's many more texts like that. There's more than one, of course. We have plenty of precepts. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews, and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them come to worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. That means he's going to make these come and worship at our feet. That's to come. It will happen. Amalek, get ready. Esau, get ready. Ishmaelites, get ready. Moabites, Chinese, get ready. Hagarenes, some Arabs, Gabal, get ready. Ammon, Japanese, get ready. And Amalek, grandson of Esau, you white. You know, you part of him also. Caucasian race, come out of Mount Seir, Caucasus Mountains is what I read in my notes. That's where they're from. You know, Khazars. 1948, Balfour Declaration, put them in place. To take whose place? The Lashawan Qadash people. The real Yahawada. the real 12 tribes of Israel. That's just one nation. They use Jews as if like, oh, there ain't no other way. The Jews is just, that's all we are, Jews. Sometimes they come, sometimes we Levi. What the hell are you talking about, you Levi? And you sometimes, you Jews. There are people over there, I seen one of them on the Facebook, some of that wearing a yarmulke that was a rainbow. I'm not going to get into that, but that's ridiculous. How you going to be God's people? Faking around. How you going to be God's people? The Most High's people, Yahweh, in the name of Christ, Bashem Yahweh Shah. How you going to be that and you walking around here gay? How you going to do that? Molesting little boys. How you going to do that? How you going to go around doing some crazy stuff like that and calling yourself the Most High's people? Revelation 3:9. Let's read that again. Amalek. We'll give him a little showtime right here. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews, but do what? Lie. We'll put that right by there, because Esau also, we know he is. But do lie. They got that in characteristics. Let's find that again. Let's find that over here. But do lie. Let's find that over here. Let's find out that. Let's find a precept to that real quick here. He's the origin of the law, John 8:44. Let's see that. Let's look that up right here. Let's see who's the origin of that lie right there. Let's see who. John 8:44. New Testament, John. Let's see here. 8. I think it's, let's see, 44. Yeah. John 8:44. Read this with me, guys. Ye are of your father the devil. In this case, granddaddy. Your father the devil, and the lusts of your father ye will do. He has become the murderer from the beginning. He taught all these people to be murderers too. Of course, they added them all that because we fought them. They want to murder us. Murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth. Now, if you don't abide in the truth, then you must be in a lie, because there is no truth in him. And that's all these nations right here. There's no truth in them, especially Amalek, especially Edom, who's Esau, a.k.a. he ain't hiding nowhere. There ain't no truth in him. When he speak a lie, we on John 8:44. He speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the what? Father of it. He's a liar. Let's write that text down here. John 8:44. We'll write that one down before I translate it real quick here. Write that precept right here. John 8:44. Hey, okay. He's a liar from the beginning. When you speak a lie, let you guys write that down here. The liar claiming to be us. We're catching all the hell on the street, claiming to be us. We're catching all of the problems, no job, claiming to be us. We gotta suffer on welfare, giving some handout, on claiming to be us. They've given these people millions of dollars, millions, just to perpetrate a lie and be us, claiming to be us. Light up that chat there. Tell me a little bit more about it if you want to in the chat. And because I tell you the truth, ye believe me not. See, John 8:44 says, ye of your father the devil, and the devil just means deceiver. That's what he's done. They deceived the whole world to thinking, Esau, his granddaddy, that they are the people of the Bible. Well, why? Well, who am I then? Who am I supposed to be? The 12 tribes of Israel. That's what we are. I'm from the tribe of Yahweh, of Judah. I have people from Gad, some Asher. You know, we got people from all over. We got all kinds of tribes. Benjamin, Aparian, Puerto Ricans. We got all people that just dropped off on them slave ships. Let's find out who the real. Let's get to that real quick, just to be getting to it, so I get it before I finish translation here. Kind of to have an understanding of who we are. Let's go to Deuteronomy. Let's go there. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28. 28th chapter, 68th verse. Let's find out who was really brought in on the slave ship. Let's Deuteronomy 28:68. I'm not going to translate. I just want to read this. So, because we're going into Amalek, before I translate and see what he looks like in the Lashawan Qadash. And the Lord, or the Most High, shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way of I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again. Why? Why? Because they kicked us out. Because these Roman Edomites over here, Esau, or Edom, in the Hebrew, Edom, translated over here, Edom, they took us into captivity, dropped us off over here. Some of our northern kingdom, our brothers, his Indians, are already over here. They call them Indians, but that's the northern kingdom. Already over here anyway. Esau ain't discovered nothing. See? And Amalek ain't discovered a thing. And the Lord, and the Most High, shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way of I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy it. That's who we are. The real Yahweh, the real Jew, the real 12 tribes, the real Benjamin, Levi, Asher, Gad, Aparian, the real, and so on and so forth. All the 12 tribes. We are the real ones. These are the fake Khazars. Had to give him a little time there because I didn't want people to walk away here when I write stuff on the board saying, who is this? I want to make sure you understand that who these people are. Let's translate it here real quick here. I done jumped on them enough. Well, not enough. He's going to get some more here this weekend. Let's find out. The Amalekites. When you see Amalek, the Amalekites, them fake Jews, or what Hitler called kites, you'll see them, the grandson of Esau. Let's see, he looks like this in Hebrew. Like that. Oops, I got it in the wrong spot there. I'm going to put it by the Philistines here. As a matter of fact, I'll take the Philistines and write him down here a little lower so I have some room. I want to make sure. We'll write the Philistines down here. Philistines. We'll make sure that he get a little room here. He'll be a little Amalek. We'll make sure we tell the story of them fools over there thinking that, these crazies to try to take our place. Got us down here. We can't even have a decent understanding of life because we don't even know who we are because these people took our place. But now we know. Now HBK started in 1969, letting you know we are the real Jews. We are the real children of Israel. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Let's see. Is that right? Oh, Jesus, that's wrong. I did Hammond. No, that ain't right. Sorry about that. Let's go over here. It's not Amal, huh? It's over here. Amalek. Let's go over here. Right there. Then it's La. There we go. Amalek with a Q right there. You see that in Tanakh? That's what they look like. Amalek. Okay? That's when you find that Amalekites, like I said in Genesis 14:7, when you see that in the Tanakh, what you see in red here, you see it in the Tanakh, you see it reading, you'll understand who they are and what they've done to us. And in captivity there. Of course, the Philistines over here, I'll write down who they are, because it's sort of like, that's a whole nother story of understanding. I'm not going to do it in this class, but it looks like this. Pa, Palashath. When you say Philistine, Palashath. Like that. Okay? It's a little better understanding. We'll write the Ashur. Those are the Syrians that were they are Assyrians. They're not were, they are. But when you see Asher, there was a king in Ezra 4:2. Yeah, that's right. He was mentioned, the king of Ashur. When you see that, those are Assyrians. And of course, Assyrian, I started to bring my map today, but I didn't do that. But the Assyrians will be translated to look like this. Oh man, what am I doing here? Okay, like this. There we go. A little better. Okay, you see that A right there? That's the A that I'm looking at. That's Ah. In Assyrian, Ashah, or when you want to say Ashur is what you're doing, Ashah, or Assyrian, Ashah. There we go. Ashawar. Ashur. Okay? Not Asher. Don't make the mistake to say that. It's Ashawar. Ashawar. That's Ashur. Not Asher. Asher is one of us, but Ashur is like the like Assyrian people. That's over there. We give you a chance to write that down, guys. Okay, we're going to go into, who we have left? Tyre, the Phoenicians there. I got to kind of look him up here, see how that's pronounced. Because I got off here. We go back to the translation there. Got to kind of look him up a little bit. Well, as you guys get a chance to write that down, just know that all these nations, all of them had a little bit to do with your demise. Okay. When we read the Tanakh in the Bible, right here, and the Bible, we read the Tanakh. We see these words, and we know when we translate them what they are. So we have an understanding of who these people are, and who people are that put us in captivity in Psalms 83, 2-8. Of course, read that sometime in entirety so you can get a full understanding. So, what did I say? Tyre? Amalek? Tyre. Okay, let's translate that real quick here. It says Phoenician type people is Tazar. So it'd be looking like something like this. I'll write it. Let's just erase that right here. We can hope that's sort of like have an understanding. It'll look like let's see. Yeah, there you go. Man. Gotta write this down a little better here. Okay. Tazah, right here. Write it down a little bit more neater. Kind of got it. Trying to find a place. We'll put it over here. Let's just put it right above here. Right, something sort of like that. It's kind of hard to write that sometimes. It gets weird. Tazar, Tazar, Tari, Tazar, Tazar. Okay. And of course, we have the nations here that put us in captivity. We'll erase this off the board and we'll go over some of those nations here real quick. We'll give you a chance to write that down, and we'll go over the some 18 nations here involved. We'll show you the full of all of them. That's all. These are the nations that the Bible mentioned. Psalms 83, 2 through 8, and it's that translation of how they're pronounced. Well, let's go into the 18 nations. Let's write a little bit. Let's do a little bit of that real quick here. Let's see. Okay. Guys, give you a chance to write that down just a little bit before we get into something else here. Guys, have anything to write in the chat, you can, of course. I was going to get into something else here, but I think I'll just stay with the nations. We'll stay on the nations part of it. So we'll keep tight with that. Let's see. Give you a few more seconds, guys, to write that down. Of course, if you have any questions in there, of course, feel free. Put them through the chat. Put them through the chat. Of course, we'll go over those questions here. All right. Let's go over. Let's go over the 18 nations here. Some of these nations that are not mentioned in the Psalms 83. We'll kind of write about them here. And guys, we'll erase this a little bit. Hope you guys understood Psalms 83 and what they look like in the Hebrew. And of course, give you a challenge to that you have the Assyrian. You can translate that back into the Paleo. Just grab the identical character that fits that. That's all you really got to do and translate it. That's how it's done. Okay? That's really all you have to do. We'll leave Edom up there because I think you'll be sort of like one of the first ones that we come to of understanding. It's always good to know the Bible, Lashawan, Qadash, and how it's read, how it's viewed, who these nations are. That's how we know who we are. When we read the Lashawan, Qadash, we see the spelling of these nations. It all makes sense. It all fits into Tanakh. Because before, if you don't know that, then you won't have an understanding of when you see the Tanakh, which the Bible reference. When you see the Tanakh and the original writings, of course, which the Bible is made off of, King James simply translated, and you won't have an understanding if you don't know how to read Hebrew. That's the whole point. That's our whole point. That's the point of us doing this. So you'll be able to have an understanding. So let's write a little bit of the 18 nations. We got a little bit of time here to do some of the nations. Some more nations here, okay? All right. Let's see here. Well, let's go. We'll first start off. Let me go and start with the first one. We'll take Edom off here. We'll take Psalms 83. Give us some room here. Yeah. Okay. There we go. 18 nations. That was 18 of them. The 18 nations. Not just the nations that put us in captivity, of course. Let's talk about just in general. The 18 nations are around. You got India, Assyria. Let's do India. India. We'll write it out like that. It's Elam. Elam. When you see the Elamites or Elam, in the Bible, and they're called Ayalam. Ayalam. Make sure we got it right. Ayalam. Yeah, that's right. Ayalam. Okay? We'll give another color here for translation. Satan. We'll do paleo over here, and then I'll translate it. Got time over here. Ayalam. Ya. Okay. And then we'll have Ayalam like this. So we'll do the connectors here. It's important to understand in Paleo, Hebrew, we're talking about India. That's the people that's over there in the Far East over there in India, not the East Indians, not to be mistaken with us. Our people, they call them Indians or savages, what they call them, but they're really not. They're the children of Israel, Gad, the Seminole Indians, Reuben, and so on and so forth. Got all kinds of different types of Indians going on there that make up those tribes, Gad and Seminole Indians. Because my great-grandmother was a Seminole Indian, Seminole, what you call it, tribe of Reuben, if I'm not mistaken. So we're going to call it Ayalam. That's the translation. When you see Ayalam, or this in the Tanakh, Ayalam, have you ever seen it in the Bible, or Elam, Elamites, you'll see that. Because we fought against all of these nations here. India. That's who that is. All right? Let's see if we got enough room to write this in Assyria. I think we do, because I'm writing so big, I shouldn't do that. Ayalam. It's I. Not an N there. We got to make sure it's wide like that. Let's put the characters back on the board so if you have a reference, you can see these characters in class just like that. If you can see them, you see those characters, try to make a some characters over here. You can see I. There's an I right there. I. Of course, you see, looks like a laid down Z there. That's Yah. It's over here. So that's this Yah. And then of course you have La, Lam, Ayalam. So let's translate that. I, Yah. That's all you have to do when I translate something. You just simply grab the characters right underneath it and Assyrian and just match the character per character. In this case, this is Assyrian. That's why I put it in blue. I mean the Paleo. That's why I put it in blue. In this case, it's Assyrian that we're writing in red right now. Okay? Ah, Yah. And then we have like this. Ayalam. And of course, now over here, special connected. In Hebrew, you're going to have to use, oh boy, I got no room. You're going to have to use this M. I'll separate it like that. You're going to have to use this M. Why? Because it's at the end of every Assyrian word, there are ending characters for special words like special characters, pa, tazah, ka, ma, and na. There's 5 of them. In this case, don't want you to get confused. I'll put a dot right here so you won't get confused right there. There. That's the Syrian right here in red, and of course green, and that's the Paleo. When you see those right there, you'll see the ending connector, that's an M. You cannot use any other M. That's how it's written. When you see that, that's why you're able to write it and look at it, and to knock, you're able to see it a little better when you're reading it. That's what the class is all about. Okay? To understand a little better. All right, let's find another one of these nations here. The 18 nations that we're talking about. Of course, the biblical name, the 18 nations, you'll have 18 nations as it's known today. I'll put right here, today. And I'll put up here, this is the biblical name. That's Bible. Okay? That's the biblical name, of course. And of course, this is a Hebrew. And this is the translation of that Hebrew. So let's continue on. You got a chance to write that down real quick. Okay. All right, what's the next nation here? Because we're talking about 18 nations. After we done went over Psalms 83, you roll your film back, video back, and you'll see how we jumped all over the Amalekites, especially for trying to perpetrate us. They know about liar, Khazars, make no mistake about it. Revelation 3 and 9 tell you about it too. They have their fate in Obadiah, the book of Obadiah. Assyria, and this is what we were talking about before. Assyria, or I call them the Assyrians, but this calls Assyria. When this shows you right here, let's see, let's see, Assyria, yeah, that's right, Assyria. There we go. Assyria, and the Bible calls them Asher. Ashur is also joined with them. Remember we saw that in Psalms 83? Ashur, that's him. Well, it would help if I spelled it right. Let's put an H right there. Ashur. There we go, a little better, okay? That's Assyria. When you see the Assyrians in the Bible, that's what it's talking about, the Assyrians, okay? You see the Assyrians? Ashur. That's their biblical name. That's what they were called. Remember I said that back in the King in that book? I think that was Ezra, wasn't it? Let's see. We'll look back through it here. I think it was. The Syrians. Ezra 4 and 2. The king is mentioned there. The king of the Ashurians, or the Assyrians. That's where they came from. We didn't fought with all these other nations. All of them had something to do with our captivity, if you really want to say it. But the Bible really spells it out in Psalms 83. Tells you who we were and who they were that held this people, us, into captivity. Okay, all right, let's see. How you translate him? Well, let's find out. Make a little chart going right here. It's War. There we go. Ashur. Okay? Ashur. And we may run out of room here. I run out of time, but we did this lesson. If I did, we'll pick it up a little bit next week, of course, also. And we'll do it. Ashur. Okay, let's write him. Let's translate him and on the board also. Ashur. See if we got enough room here. We'll have to erase this a little bit here. Put this up here somewhere. La, Lam. There you go. Lam. There you go. Ayalam. Okay. Ashur. So Ashur look like this. And I hope you guys should be grabbing your pencil and your paper and writing along with it. So you'll get used to what you're trying to do is get used to writing these, especially using the Hebrew characters. After a while, you get used to doing it. I've gotten used to it, but sometimes I, have a mental error sometime, but still, you want to get used to it and write them all over every day, all the time. So Ashur. So we'll say like that. Then we'll say Shah. Then we'll say Wa. Then we'll say Ra. Well, we're going to have to, let's open like that. Okay. Like that a little bit, okay? Now, we'll have to have Hebrew connectors. Those connectors show you how to pronounce the word. Syria, Ashur, is also joined with them. Ashur. So it's independent connector, single sound. That's why. Shah, independent connector, single sound. But you want to say war. You want to say wa and an R together, just like that. That's what you see. Wa-R. Wa-R. Give you guys a chance to look at that for a second. But that's how you do it. Of course, we'll translate it in Assyrian right now. That was Paleo, of course. Put that down. We'll just do this just off the cuff. It should be like this. That's an A. And then, of course, we have Shah. Just like that. And you don't have to look at the chart really because it's just a direct translation from memory. But if you have to, refer to the chart. I do it a lot. But sometimes I have to look at the chart too. There you go. Ashur. Shah. Wa. Ra. Also, you have to make this a little bigger because we don't want to look like the ending ka. There we go. Because the R, Ra, right there, and the ka sort of look alike. Only ones had a little hook on them. I just got to make them look different because I recognize them also. I recognize them in the Tanakh when I read them, and then you have to know the difference right off. But anyway, that's why the reason for this, if you can pick up the Tanakh and read it, you'll have a great understanding of what these words mean in the Bible. Well, if you got a great understanding of what the words mean in the Bible, then wow, this translation of them is, and reading and then understanding, now you'll know who this is talking about. Oh, okay, Lashawan. Let's find out who that is. Let's look that up. And then that's all you have to do. But if you can't read the Hebrew, then you can forget about going here. Then you can forget about knowing who the Bible name is, and you certainly wouldn't know who they are in today's time. But so far we have Assyria, Ashur, Ashur, Paleo, Hebrew. All right, let's get to another one. You know, to some of you guys, it's a repetitive class, and to some people, as viewers is looking, that you've never read this before, that's fine. That's what we're here for. We'll give you a chance to write that down. We'll move on to the next one. The next part of the 18 nation is going to be Syria. Syria. Well, let's find out. What were they called? Syria. 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 That's over there right above or right east of Israel. Syria, right in that little area where they're bombing and having all kinds of crazy problems over there. You know, Most High is going to come back. He's setting all this up by design. They were called Aram. Aram. Not Aram, but Aram. You can say Aram or Aram, but, you know, it's like this. Not A, it's Ra-am. Aram. Okay? And his biblical name is Aram. Okay? And of course, his the way you pronounce that is Aram. Just like that. Aram. Not Aram, but Aram. You have to give that A the full H sound over there. Aram. Of course, let's translate that, see what it looks like. Aram. And that looks like this. Pretty simple there. We'll have this one will just look like like that, and then you have, of course, it's considered the A and the H is already there. The then of course you have Ra, if I'm not mistaken, like that. Make sure. Yeah, that's right. Aram, yeah, that's right. Aram. Of course, you have to have connectors, so you would say independent connected, independent sound right there, because the AH gets this full sound, the and then of course you have to do a dependent connector with Ram. That, Ram, Aram. Okay, of course in Assyrian. Write these down, guys, for your future reference here. Aram. Get the A, that's how you translate it. Take the A over here, this A here, it's the same as this A right here. That A. When you just look down beneath it, you should have if you don't have a chart, write that chart down. Develop a chart so you can look back at it and say, okay, I can look back at it and see what it is. You know, then have the R sound, you can find it in there, but it looks like this, Ra. Ra. Then you're going to have something special going on here. All right, in the audience there, in my class, what do I use at the end of Aram? I'll give you guys some chance to write down and participate in class. What would I use? What's the next letter going to be? Aram. It's got an A-H-R-A-M. In Assyrian, how would I finish that translation there in the word? Or it has an M there. Aram. We want you to type in what it is. I'll wait for you. Give you guys a chance to participate in class a little bit more, because you participate already by being here. And I appreciate that immensely. So Aram. What do I put in the end of that? What do I put there? Somebody tell me what that is. Everybody don't do it at once now. Tell me what that is. What do I put at the end of Aram to make the Assyrian complete? You don't need it in Paleo. But Assyrian, the word is spelled A-H-R-A-M for Syria. What do I put at the end to make that complete? Ra what? See if you guys been paying attention. Ra. What would you put there? What would you guys put there? Shar, anybody? Baralada, Adrian, Princess Labia. She says Ya. Adrian, let's see. Let's guess at it again. Okay, let me get this straight here. Let me rephrase it. That's not quite right. Now, what I want you to do is, what I'm saying is if it's Aram. Now, if I was going to translate that, like you have Aram. So all you have to do is take an A here and put an A there. I'm just translating this Syrian over here. You have an R here, well, you have an R in Assyrian. You have an M here, you'll have a what there? What would that be? What letter would that be? And tell me what's special about that letter. Like I said, Aram. You got A-R-M here in Paleo. The way you translate it is just simply do the characters on the chart. Just go below it and look. You'll find the same characters. It'll be the same characters as right here in Paleo. So if this is an A, that's an R, that's an M. So what would you have over here? A-R, and then what's special about that character? Give you guys another second here. There you go, Barala. Yeah, good, great. It's an M. It's exactly right. She's got an M. And what type of M? Will it be? What ending connected would that be? Would it be what? I almost gave it away. but give that sister a hand. Barala Da has it. She's right. It's an M. But what's special about that M? Right in the chat, what's special about that M? What would make that M? Why would I just put any old M there, or would I put a regular M? Would I put a Syrian M? What would I put? What would I put at the end of this to make that complete? You're right, Baralada. That's exactly right. So what M would I put there? Very good. That's right. That's right, Adrian. She's got it right. It is an M. But what's special about that M? Type in that chat if you guys been paying attention. Of course, we'll go over it. What's special about that M? How come I couldn't just put an M down there just like I had it in Paleo? In the Syrian, when you see an M there, type in there, why am I taking the time to worry about what's special about that M? Type in there what that is. What type of M is that? It's called a what? See if you guys remember it. You might. Assyrian, yeah, that's right. That's right, Baralada. And the Assyrian, okay, I'll put it right here. Baralada and Adrian and Shah and Princess Labia. There's the M's right there. We have this, we have that one and that one. Which one of those colors Like you see the Ma, M-A right there? Ma, see that? M-A? Which one of them M's would I use? I'll hold it up there. Tell me which one. Was it be the top one, the middle one, or the bottom? Or just tell me the color. The red, the blue, or the green. Which one? The red, blue, or the green. Which one of those? Which one? You're right. It is Assyrian, Baraladah, but which one? We got two of them. Which one of those in the Ma? I'll put it back here on the board. Which one? Would it be the, I'll hold it up there again. See the Ma? Which one of those M's would it be below the Ma? Adrian said green. She's exactly right. Give that sister a hand. That's exactly right. That's exactly. Both of you guys are right. Give both of y'all a hand. That's exactly 100% right. I just want you to see that the reason why it is a green, let me put it here. The reason why it is a green M, or that I said green M, it's green just for identification, of course, that's why I did. But the reason why it is the green one here, right there, the reason why it's the green one is because at the ending connector, I have all written in green here, the ending connectors, when you see those characters, this one, the one on the Na, the one on the Ma, and the one on the Ka, just trying to teach class here to show you, Salaki green, that's exactly right. Exactly right. That's why I say give both you guys a hand. That's exactly right. Baraladah, the green. You're exactly right. When you see the Pa right there, you see that P, or you see the Tazah, you see that green, there's 5 of them, you can bet that that character goes at the end right here. In this case, there's an M. When you see an M there, or any one of those characters I pointed out, or you see a Tazah, or you see a Pa, you see a Ka, or a Na, they're going to have an ending character special from the other, or you would not recognize that word. That's why it's important. That's exactly right. Like I said, they'll give you a hand. Now that's part of learning. That's part of understanding. So when you see this, you see these characters up now. You don't do this for the paleo. The paleo's in the blue. You only do this for the Syrian. It has an ending character. Okay? Now, since we've been writing up here, since there's an ending character, the ending character for the Syrian, what does the paleo has that the Syrian doesn't have? Now let's see, that's a challenge. What we've been writing them up here. What does the paleo have that the Syrian doesn't have? See if the students so far, you guys are called to all. That means all good. Let's write down and tell me what's the difference. What does the paleo characters have in understanding and writing the word? What would they have better or superlative or better? No, not better. Well, yeah, I think our language is better because the Syrian we had in captivity. What's better or what's different? What do you use different? See if you guys remember this. That you wouldn't have over here in the Syrian. Now the Syrian has an ending characters. I'm sorry. Okay, let's give it away. So what would the paleo have different? It's not going to have ending characters. The paleo doesn't have ending characters. It doesn't have it. But the Syrian has ending characters. But what does the paleo have special? Let's put you guys' thinking cap on, see what that is. We're not going to get through all the nations tonight, but I want you to understand so I'll know. I mean, we'll finish it next week, of course. I don't like to rush things, so we won't get things proper. What would be the what's special about the paleo that the Syrian doesn't have? There you go. She's got it right. She said, and I'm sure the rest of you guys knew this, Adrian, she said, independent and dependent connectors. Ooh, Jesus. We'll go with your spelling there. Independent. Dent. That's what the problem is. That word also messed up. Okay. Independent and dependent connectors. That's exactly right. And that's the point. That's what these are. We'll emphasize it. And it's important to understand this when you're writing, or the word you won't have it right. So when you're reading out of the Tanakh or the Bible that has Assyrian in it, when you're reading out here, you'll see a lot of that out of here. You'll see a lot of it. I mean, you gotta have it. That's the point. And this is the class where you learn it. That's why I go over some things to keep you interested, because what I'm after is the Lashawan Qadash. So when you read it, you'll understand what these words are. Elam. Oh, okay, they said Ayalam. Okay, Ayalam. Oh, okay. So, as a matter of fact, let me put the connectors back on here because I did move it. Ayalam. There. So, the whole point is the independent dependent connectors right here. They help break down the word and pronounce or enunciate it properly so you'll have an understanding of how it sounds. I like the Lashawan Qadash Paleo because I can break, once I know how it sounds, like Shawar, Ram. Now I can say, okay, all right, Yalam. That's one sound. Ya, that's one sound. Lam has three words, three little characters there, but what does that mean? That means you got to lump them together with a dependent connector, and that looks like a U. The upside down is, the dependent connector looks like this. The independent connector looks like that. If you guys understand that, type of one in the chat, because I want to make sure you guys understand that. And if you understand the, like Baral, Lada, and Adrian, and I'm sure Princess Labia and Shar, I'm sure all you guys know that. Write down, type of one in the chat, let me know you know. So I'll know, communicate so I'll understand. Of course you have ending connectors. So let's write it down. Let's write that word down. Ending connectors. There you go. Adrian wrote it down. And make sure you guys also write a one in the chat so I'll understand that you guys really understand that. So I'll know. Well, I can assume it, but I want to know. Sister Labia and Sister Adrian, Brother Shah, Labia, and Baralada. I can assume that. And the ending connectors, I'm sorry, Jesus, not connectors. Ending characters. Yeah, just like that. Ending characters. I guess I don't know if that's a anyway. This right here. Let me make sure I spell character right. It's important. Ending connectors. Ending connectors are on Paleo Hebrew. Are you asking me that question, Baralada, the ending connection on Paleo Hebrew? No. There are no ending connectors on Paleo Hebrew. All they have is independent and dependent sounds to make them pronounce. The ending characters are only on Assyrian. They're only on the Assyrian. The ending, you ask ending connectors. Yeah. Yeah, there are no ending. We really don't want to say the ending, actually, I didn't mean connectors, I'm sorry. It's ending Salakia. It's ending characters. The ending characters are only on Assyrian. Only on Assyrian. The independent and dependent connectors are on Paleo. So let's get that one right. Salakia. Okay, good. Okay. So I'm hoping you understand that. So the maybe using the wrong colors or something like that, Baraladah. But here's the thing. When you're writing in Assyrian, it's going to have the ending characters. Something at the end. Not all the time. It's only 5 times when you'll have it. You'll find it in Ka, Ma, Na. You'll find it in Pa and Tazah. You'll find those characters. When you see a word like that at the end, you can bet you have to use. They're using these ending characters in Assyrian. But when it comes to the Paleo, it will have independent and dependent connectors. Big difference. So, yeah. Matter of fact, I won't do it. I'll make sure you guys understand this. So when we're doing stuff like Ashar, then we'll say, we'll do this again. That is a independent connector right there. Shah, that sound right there. Shah, that is an independent connector. Don't need anything by itself. Shah, but when you get over here to War, you want to connect them together. So that is a dependent connector. They depend on each other right there. War. Okay, that's Paleo. Now let's do that same word in Assyrian. Well, it's Ashawar. Now let's get over here to Aram. This is a good way of understanding, and Ayalam has the same thing also. But since we're on Aram, let's say right here. Let's use some red so we can see it here. Okay, that's this right here. But you see that little upside down U? That's because it's independent pronounced. Like that. Ra, and you put an M with it, but it's not Assyrian. It is Paleo. So you don't need an ending character. You need a connector here. That's why I don't like teaching these both at the same time, because people get them mixed up. Sometimes I say them wrong. Ra, that's the R right here, and the A sound, and the M right there. You put them together, you have Ram. That's what this is. And that will be a dependent connector right there. Okay? Now, let's go over here to Assyrian. Assyrian, you have just translate the word. Just go over here in your chart. The first thing you should do is write down what's on these charts. We'll go over a class next week. I'm sure I'll go over these alphabets and connectors again to have some understanding. Well, just a little bit. It won't take that long, then I'll move on to something else. It'll be exciting like the something like Psalms 83. It'll be even more exciting. But anyway, you have right there. That's the same as that only this is Assyrian. That's Paleo. You don't need any connectors on Assyrian. You don't need them. Okay, and then on the Ra, that's that R right there, that Ra. Then the Ma, that's what you guys said. That's what my students just said. Everybody, you have said to me, and I believe you're right, it needs an ending character, and that ending character just happened to be an M, and that's what that is, Ma. I'm sorry, Ma, right above there, Ma. There's 3 different type M's. That's the Paleo in red, the blue is Assyrian, and the green is the ending character that goes with the Assyrian. See, only on those. So I pray and hope that you guys understand that. That's part of understanding of it. And of course, that'll pretty much be the end of class. I pray and hope that you guys understand that. And let me know from time to time what you guys want to study on, but that was part of the study that we went over today. We'll break this down and do some Hebrew announcements in a second here, but we'll let you know. So just remember, I'll reiterate it again, just remember that Assyrian and Paleo, they're different, but yet the same. Paleo is the original Lashawan, Qadash, Phoenicians. That's what we did. That's the original language of the 12 tribes of Hebrews. Then we got in captivity. They pushed us, the Syrians, these people, Ashur, these people put us into captivity. And we've been in captivity for a lot of times. But when they did it, they changed it to what you see here, Assyria. Back in Daniel's days, sort of like that. Ashawar, Aram. They added these characters. They added the last connector. And to this day, the Khazars, that wicked empire, the Khazars over there that came from the cave, they use that language. They speak Yiddish, so they come up here and stole our language. Only they use the one that we had in captivity, and that's the whole problem right there. They're trying to perpetrate themselves as the real Jews, and they're not, of course. But anyway, we hope that you guys had a great class, and you want to type in the chat anything. I appreciate your participation. We all got an A+ out of there. We'll give yourself a hand. Everybody did great. 100%. There's nothing wrong with going in class. I mean, that's positive. We'll see you next class, of course. That'll be the 24th of next week. And we'll tell you, I haven't decided exactly what we're going to do, but I guarantee you to be something exciting like we're doing today, and we'll go from there. But I'm going to do some security announcement, the ISUPK. We are the ISUPK, started out in 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. The rule for the brother and the sister: when a brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits. Off limits. For 6 months. They are to be the salute only. They are here to shed themselves with the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, that's good, very good. Baralada and Adrian and all the rest of Princess Labia and Shar, well, thank you for participating in class. Thank you for that. Thank you for the hand claps right there. Makes me feel like that I'm trying to do this exactly right. Put up in the chat sometime. Put in my, text me and say, hey, let's go over this. But be here next week. We want to see you next week. Participate in class. All right. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. We're next week. Now let's go over the security announcements. We are at ISBK, start off 1 West Harlem, 200 Hall, New York. Rule for the brother and the sister: when a new brother or sister comes into school, they are off limit for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They're here to shed themselves to the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to the brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. They're going to court each other, okay? After the 6 month period, the brother and the sisters will get permission from the head, and I do say the head only, to marry. To marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, Numbers 18 and 21, Malachi 3, 8 and 10. It means 10th in Hebrew. Ma, or that means of, Asherah. Asherah is 10. We've gone over that time before in class. That was a very Tawab class, very intriguing to understand the number system in Paleo Hebrew. Well, my Asherah, 10% of every penny of increase the Lord or the Most High gives you, give to the Treasury Department or teacher. The priest fund, the free will offering for the priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever the amount you would like the upholding convocations announce. Okay, let's see what the upholding. Of course, we had the Passover. It's been postponed, but it would have been the 14th day of the first month. It's always the 14th first day of the first month. 14th day of the first month. It's lucky. Thursday, April 9th, 2020 sundown would have been that time. Exodus 12, 1 through 51. Precept also Leviticus 23, 4 and 5. Precept 1 Corinthians 5, 7 and 8. Precept again, 2 Corinthians 30 and 17. Of course, you have different feasts on here. Feast of Unleavened Bread, Feast of First Fruit, Memorial of Blood and Trumpets. In September and the 26th, of course. Have a lot of them in September. The Feast of Tabernacles. You'll find that one, the Feast of the Hanukkah. Of course, that's later on down this year. And the Feast and the Purim. But as for now, that's we still have to wait. Stay at school, stay on these channels, grab a flyer, see us out on the street, and understand this Lashawan Qadash will be back next week to understand even more, so you guys can understand about Lashawan Qadash. But for that, we say at the end of class,